Hi, everybody. A big Washington moment. You're watching News Talk on News Channel 8. We want to take you straight to the House floor where Paul Ryan is about to become Speaker of the House. He's become Speaker of the House. He's about to accept the gavel from the Democratic leader, Nancy Pelosi. He'll then address his colleagues with the nation listening in. Let's take you back now to the House floor. Sustained applause for the 45-year-old from Wisconsin, chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, his party's nominee for vice president in 2012, now Speaker of the House, about to accept the gavel from a woman with whom he'll be working closely. Whether it's productive or not, only time will tell. But Nancy Pelosi there, continuing to applaud, as are the other members of the House chamber. She's been through this before, and she's probably saying, okay, Congressman, okay, Paul, here's how it's going to go. Easy body language between the two. To what extent will the Ryan era look and feel different than the Boehner era? Only time will tell. Conservatives have some concern about this man, but they know we're approaching an election year. Voters are watching to see whether Republicans can govern. President Obama, with a last few months in office, a year and change, a final opportunity for him to get stuff done. So the Ryan-Obama relationship will be interesting. The Ryan-Pelosi relationship will be interesting. Ryan will address his colleagues in just a few moments' time. Steve Shepard is standing by from Politico. We'll talk with him in just a second. Right now, though, let's go back to the House floor as Paul Ryan prepares to accept the gavel as House Speaker.
My dear colleagues of the 114th Congress of the United States, today, as every day, we come to this floor strengthened and inspired by the support of our colleagues, the trust of our constituents, and the love of our families. My special thanks to my husband, Paul, our 5 children, our 9 grandchildren, and the entire Pelosi and D'Alessandro families for their support. My deep gratitude to the people of San Francisco for the continued honor they give me to represent them here. And my heartfelt thanks to my Democratic colleagues for extending to me the honor of being nominated to be Speaker of the House. Thank you, my colleagues. Today, we bid farewell to a Speaker who has served his constituents and this Congress with honor for 25 years, Speaker John Boehner. But he's not in the room. In his story, we are reminded of the enduring, exceptional promise of America. This hardworking son of an Ohio bartender and owner who grew up to be the Speaker of the House of Representatives. John Boehner talked about the American dream. John Boehner, you are the personification of the American dream. As you all know, Speaker Boehner was a formidable spokesman for the Republican agenda. My Republican colleagues, I'm sure you know, and I can attest to the fact that he was always true and loyal to the members of his caucus in any negotiations we ever had. Although we had our differences, and often, I always respected his dedication to this House and his commitment to his values. Thank you, John, for your leadership and courage as Speaker. Your graciousness as Speaker extended and was reflected in your staff under the leadership of Mike Summers, whom we all respect. Thank you to John Boehner's staff. And I know I speak for everyone here, Democrats and Republicans, when I thank you for making the visit of His Holiness Pope Francis such a beautiful and meaningful experience for all of us. Today, we extend our thanks and congratulations to Debbie, your daughters Lindsay and Tricia, and the entire Boehner family, now including grandson Alistair. Let's hear it for the family of John Boehner. On behalf of House Democrats and personally, I wish you and your family all of God's blessings in the glorious years ahead. Last month, we witnessed something truly special when Pope Francis made history addressing a joint session of Congress. Standing right here, Pope Francis called on us to seek hope, peace, and dialogue for all people, and reminded us of our duty to find a way forward for everyone. A good political leader, His Holiness said, is one who, with the interest of all in mind, seizes the moment in a spirit of openness and pragmatism, with the interest in mind of all. Pope Francis echoed the principle of our founders that placed at the heart of our democracy the saying, e pluribus unum, from many one. The founders could never have imagined how vast our country would become, how diverse and many we would be, ethnically, gender identities, beliefs, and priorities. But they knew we had to be one. Every day in this House and across the country, we pledge allegiance to one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is the beauty of America, that for all of our honest differences, perspectives, and priorities, aired and argued so passionately on this floor, we are committed to being one nation. Despite our differences, in fact, respecting them, I look forward to a clear debate in this marketplace of ideas, the People's House of Representatives. And so, my fellow colleagues, we have a responsibility to act upon our shared faith in the greatness of our country. We have a responsibility to be worthy of the sacrifices of our troops, our veterans, and our military families. We have a responsibility to make real the promise of the American dream for all. There is important work before the Congress. We must do more to promote growth, decrease the deficit, create good-paying jobs, and increase the paychecks of America's working families. Today, in this House, a page is turned, a new chapter has begun. Today, the gavel passes to a proud son of Wisconsin, the first speaker from Wisconsin. Paul Ryan has had the full breadth of experience on Capitol Hill, from young staffer to Tortilla Coast waiter. Should I say that again? Tortilla Coast waiter to congressman, to being a sincere and proud advocate for his point of view as chairman of the Budget Committee, as a respected leader and chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, and in a minute, he will be the Speaker of the House of Representatives. On behalf, Mr. Speaker-to-be, on behalf of House Democrats, I extend the hand of friendship to you. Congratulations to you, Paul, to Jana, your children, Liza, Charlie, and Sam, your mother who is here, how proud she must be, the entire Ryan family, whom we all know means so much to you. Mr. Speaker, God bless you and your family, and God bless the United States of America.
That was wonderful. Thank you.
Now, I assume you recognize your family, or I will. This is the Speaker's house. This is the Speaker's. This is the People's House. This is the people's gavel. In the people's name, it is my privilege to hand this gavel to the Speaker of the House, Congressman and Honorable Paul Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Leader. Before I begin, I would like to thank all of my family and friends who flew in from Wisconsin and from all over for being here today. In the gallery, I have my mom, Betty, my sister, Janet, my brothers, Stan and Tobin, and more cousins than I can count on a few hands. They're all over. Most important, I want to recognize my wife, Jana, and our children, Liza, Charlie, and Sam. Hey, guys. I also want to thank Speaker Boehner. For almost 5 years, he led this House. For nearly 25 years, he served it. Not many people can match his accomplishments. The offices he held, the laws he passed. But what really sets John apart is he's a man of character, a true class act. He is without a question the gentleman from Ohio. So please join me in saying one last time, thank you, Speaker Boehner. Now I know how he felt. It's not until you hold this gavel, stand in this spot, look out and see all 435 members of this House, as if all America is sitting right in front of you. It's not till then that you feel it. The weight of responsibility, the gravity of the moment. You know, as I stand here, I can't help but think of something Harry Truman once said. The day after Franklin Roosevelt died, Truman became president, and he told a group of reporters, if you ever pray, pray for me now. When they told me yesterday what had happened, I felt like the moon, the stars, and all the planets had fallen on me. We should all feel that way. A lot is on our shoulders. So if you ever pray, let's pray for each other. Republicans for Democrats, and Democrats for Republicans. And I don't mean pray for a conversion. All right? Pray for a deeper understanding. Because when you're up here, you see it so clearly. Wherever you come from, whatever you believe, we are all in the same boat. I never thought I'd be speaker. But early in my life, I wanted to serve this house. I thought this place was exhilarating because here you can make a difference. If you had a good idea, if you worked hard, you could make it happen. You could improve people's lives. To me, the House of Representatives represents what's best of America, the boundless opportunity to do good. But let's be frank. The House is broken. We're not solving problems. We're adding to them. And I am not interested in laying blame. We are not settling scores. We are wiping the slate clean. Neither the members nor the people are satisfied with how things are going. We need to make some changes, starting with how the House does business. We need to let every member contribute, not once they've earned their stripes, but now. I come at this job as a two-time committee chair. The committees should retake the lead in drafting all major legislation. If you know the issue, you should write the bill. Let's open up the process. Let people participate. And they might change their mind. A neglected minority will gum up the works. A respected minority will work in good faith. Instead of trying to stop the majority, they might try to become the majority. In other words, we need to return to regular order. Now, I know this sounds like process. It's actually a matter of principle. We are the body closest to the people. Every 2 years, we face the voters and sometimes face the music. But we do not echo the people. We represent the people. We are supposed to study up and do the homework that they cannot do. So when we do not follow regular order, when we rush to pass bills that a lot of us don't understand, we are not doing our job. Only a fully functioning House can truly represent the people. And if there were ever a time for us to step up, this would be that time. America does not feel strong anymore because the working people of America do not feel strong anymore. I'm talking about the people who mind the store and grow the food and walk the beat and pay the taxes and raise the family. They do not sit in this House. They do not have fancy titles. But they are the people who make this country work, and this House should work for them. Here's the problem. They're working hard. They're paying a lot. They're trying to do right by their families. And they're going nowhere fast. They never get a raise. They never get a break. The bills keep piling up, and the taxes and the debt. They're working harder than ever before to get ahead, and yet they're falling further behind. They feel robbed. They feel cheated by their birthright, of their birthright. They're not asking for any favors. They just want a fair chance. And they're losing faith that they will ever get it. Then they look at Washington, and all they see is chaos. What a relief to them it would be if we finally got our acts together. What a weight off of their shoulders. How reassuring it would be if we actually fixed the tax code, put patients in charge of their health care, grew our economy, strengthened our military, lifted people out of poverty, and paid down our debt. At this point, nothing could be more inspiring than a job well done. Nothing could stir the heart more than real, concrete results. The cynics will scoff. They'll say it's not possible. You better believe we're going to try. We will not duck the tough issues. We will take them head on. We are going to do all we can do so that working people get their strength back and people not working get their lives back. No more favors for the few, opportunity for all. That is our motto. You know, I often talk about a need for a vision. I'm not sure I ever really said what I meant. We solve problems here, yes. We create a lot of them too. But at bottom, we vindicate a way of life. We show by our work that free people can govern themselves. They can solve their own problems. They can make their own decisions. They can deliberate, collaborate, and get the job done. We show that self-government is not only more efficient and more effective, it's more fulfilling. In fact, we show it is that struggle, that hard work, that very achievement itself that makes us free. That is what we do here. And we will not always agree. Not all of us, not all of the time. But we should not hide our disagreements. We should embrace them. We have nothing to fear from honest differences honestly stated. If you have ideas, let's hear them. I believe that a greater clarity between us can lead to greater charity among us. And there's every reason to have hope. When the first speaker took the gavel, he looked out at a room of 30 people, representing a nation of 3 million. Today, as I look out at each and every one of you, we represent a nation of 300 million. So when I hear people say that America doesn't have it, we are done, we are spent, I don't believe it. I believe with every fiber of my being that we can renew the American idea. Now, our task is to make us all believe. My friends, you have done me a great honor. The people of this country, they've done all of us a great honor. Now let's prove ourselves worthy of it. Let's seize the moment. Let's rise to the occasion. And when we are done, let us say that we left the people, all the people, more united, happy, and free. Thank you.
Speaker of the House Paul Ryan addressing his colleagues for the first time as the leader of the chamber, declaring it's a new day. He says, I believe every member should be able to contribute. He says committees should take the lead in drafting all major legislation and that it's time to open up the process. He laid out a long and far-reaching set of goals, and he said there's every reason to have hope. Coverage for you here on News Channel 8. We're joined by Steve Shepard, campaigns and elections editor for Politico. Steve, Paul Ryan, as someone who served in the House for a long time, he serves as Speaker beginning today. He knows that to move anything forward now, while Barack Obama is in office, means that he's going to have to work at some level with a Democratic administration. How far can he get on the pledge he just made?
Well, that's true. The key first for him is working with Republicans in Congress. You've seen John Boehner, since he became Speaker in 2011, have trouble corralling all the Republicans together, particularly with that first class of 2010.
Let's listen for one moment as he takes the oath.
That you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you are about to enter, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For what purpose does the gentleman from California, Mr. McCarthy, seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I offer a privileged resolution and ask for its immediate consideration.
The clerk will report the resolution. The clerk will first number the resolution.
House Resolution 503, resolved that the clerk be instructed to inform the President of the United States that the House of Representatives has elected Paul D. Ryan, a representative from the state of Wisconsin, Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Without objection, the resolution is agreed to, and the motion to reconsider is laid upon the table. For what purpose does the gentleman from California, Mr. McCarthy, seek recognition?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I offer a privileged resolution.
Some of the formalities associated with the election of a new Speaker. This is, by the way, the 62nd time the House of Representatives has chosen a Speaker. It's the first time the Speaker resides in Wisconsin. Paul Ryan, a native of Janesville, he's represented the 1st District of Wisconsin since 1998. He's been in the Congress a long time. He served as chair of 2 committees. He's now the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Sorry to interrupt, Steve. We wanted to capture that moment. Can you go back to the point you were making about what happens now?
Right. Paul Ryan has thus far united Republicans behind his candidacy for Speaker. They were kind of lost in the wilderness a little bit in the days following John Boehner's retirement and Kevin McCarthy's withdrawal. Can he get them together, though, on big things? John Boehner has cleared some big obstacles, including raising the debt ceiling, which has to be lifted by next week, or the country defaults potentially on its debts. He managed to clear that through the House yesterday. There are still some obstacles. We were talking off air about a highway bill. You're talking about government funding. There are things that need to be done that he needs to bring all Republicans together on. And that's been a big problem for John Boehner. Before you can even deal with the Democratic administration, you need to get everybody on the same team.
And what happens, and this is a rhetorical question, but give us your thoughts, what happens when there's an issue where he can get to 218, the magic number for passing legislation in the House or beyond, with a chunk of Republicans, maybe a majority, maybe not, 150, 200 Democrats on board, so more than enough for passage if you're not paying too close attention to whether you've got D votes or R votes, but not a majority of the majority. I mean, that, it strikes me, is going to be as fascinating a piece of all of this as any other going forward.
One thing we've learned about the Boehner era is that you need to use those circumstances very wisely, very judiciously. Every time you do that, it weakens your standing with your conference, particularly the Republican conference, which has a more insurgent wing to it and an element that we've seen over the past 10 years. You can only do that so many times, and it has to really be worth it, either politically or to make the government function. And it'll be fascinating to see how Paul Ryan navigates that.
Those are the moments, I hear you saying, where the speaker spends some of his or her capital.
Correct, yes. And this is, every time you do that, then you start to get this infighting. You see these resolutions to vacate the chair. You see various things that happen that question the speaker's authority and control over the conference.
A break here. Back with more News Talk for a busy Thursday in Washington right after this.